Have you ever wanted to play Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro at the same time, and pretend to be a samurai in Dark Souls 3 and parry everything not humanly possible with the katana? I have, and today I will try to beat Dark Souls 3 as Sekiro. Rules are simple. I can only use a katana and somewhat samurai looking armor or no armor at all. And I have to parry with the katana before attacking bosses. Because it's Sekiro, of course. Unless the boss is a damn tree or something and I can't parry it, but normal enemies I can kill however I please. I just mainly focus on parrying, and at the end of the video I actually nailed katana parrying. And it was the most satisfying thing I have ever laid my eyes upon. And just beware that parrying in Dark Souls 3 is dumb as hell, and parryable attacks and enemies are very random. But if you manage to enjoy my suffering, leave a like and subscribe to support my channel. But without further ado, grab a snack, sit back and enjoy the video. I started off creating a suitable character for a samurai playthrough, which kind of reminded me of Most Critical if he was a pink samurai with no eyes. Picked a mercenary because high dexterity and slaughtered the completely innocent lizard that did no harm to anyone, and didn't do exactly what I said in the rules, by just killing gun deer without parrying at all. But in my defense, I did not have the katana and samurai looks yet, and immediately after talking to the blind lady that wouldn't in any world know if I'm actually the Ashen one, I again find an innocent man that did nobody any harm, and not only violently execute the old man, but also rob him naked, wear his clothes and wield his katana. With my new skills, I proceed to the high wall, kill the usual knights and hollows, get stuck with a rabid dog on my elevator, get my bus ticket from the handmaiden's clone, and get cornered by a huge rat dog thing, where I for the first time embarrassingly die. But I turn out victorious after and fetch my ride with the local brain demons. After making it to my destination, I found Yule of Londor, who did not know any manners.
Oh, then it's true. A champion of Ash as I live and breathe. To be in your presence
You're the
is a
wrong
great
way.
honor.
You're looking the wrong way.
Of Londor, a
You're
pilgrim, as you
looking
can
the
see
wrong
only.
way.
Somehow,
You're
I
looking.
failed to die
You're looking
as
the.
was
Hello?
ordained.
I'm back.
perhaps my calling
Hello. And after murdering a citizen, I upgrade my sword. By a hat I thought looked cool, but didn't actually look cool or fit the style at all, and jump off a ledge in front of the blind lady 7 times to increase my stats and level up. Then find the bone of some dead woman and run right past a whole gathering of townsfolk that wanted to kill me, like I was Shrek or something, and almost shit my pants from a living cage. Backstabbed a fat old hag, and first parried this big saw-wielding prisoner, which he survived, and then we traded lives. While committing another genocide, I got jump scared by a big tree, and for the first time I actually lost to the tree, but it was too embarrassing for such a cool pink samurai to die from a damn tree, so using my sword I showed it what climate change does, and burned it to the ground. After committing the global warming, 2 big guys played on the elevator and Onion Man Sigurd saved them, but they repaid him by murdering him before I got the chance to talk to him.
Oh. Pardon me.
What? What the hell have I done to you?
Pardon me. I was absorbed.
Can you stop killing my guy? Jesus Christ. I was talking to him, alright?
What happened to you?
It isn't me!
I was absorbed.
What? After using the elevator of the mice, I found a crooked cold night and absolutely violated him. Hey big guy, can you get parried? Oh my god, you can! That was so cool. I feel so good about myself now. That was the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And after doing the most badass thing I've ever done, I continued on the road of sacrifices where I got comboed by a homeless lady with a scary butcher knife before also parrying her, and continued off to find my future wife, Horus, and ran through the terrible swamp, then getting kicked in the face by a man on a ladder before punching him off to his demise. After harassing 2 people, I continued through Miyazaki's nightmare, the toxic swamp, and put out the swamp people's only source of light, and then absolutely violated another knight. That was so cool. And then proceeded to the crazy siblings that kill each other, and had an amazing first try where they almost got to phase 2, but got enough of the parrying and double teamed me, and I died another 3 times, got crushed and then killed a fat demon to level up for more damage, and died another 16 times before this happened. Wait a second, my turn, it's my turn! And then I almost died of happiness before heading down a literal grave. While grave robbing all these dead people, I killed them once again using a giant boulder, then got invaded by a knight with a massive sword, made him fall off a damn bridge where he miraculously survived, and made me fall to my demise. And to upgrade my katana, I immediately went to the smoldering lake and found a huge demon, and to get some free souls and an item, I made it fight a mimic, and somehow this scrawny ass living chest without eyes absolutely slaughtered the demon without a scratch. So I killed the mimic and got the best katana available to me, the black blade. After this I took all the large titanite shards, got an oversized ballista to kill an oversized worm, killed a fire-wielding furry, and found myself face to face with a retired demon straight from the nursing home. After dying quite a lot of times, I took a break, got a new look on the fight, and beat him in just 2 attempts. And next up was the giant skeleton king fight. So after crossing the bridge again, I found the goblet of regret, and as always get unresponsible and touch the goblet, get sucked in, wake up the king and smash his fake gold rings, and push him right back in the abyss, making the doors open and embracing the gorgeous view of my nightmare Erythel. Nope, I'm just kidding. I went right back to the swamp and headed towards the infamous Crystal Sage. And on my first try I absolutely demolished him with 3 beautiful parries. And moved on to the Cathedral of the Deep. But first I had to play with 2 guys and parry them to hell, even though I messed up about 20 times and almost died. After that I found Gale, ran through a graveyard, got the giant to shoot everybody, ran past every single enemy on the roof, got inside the cathedral, almost became a part of the floor by a giant's fists, and almost got stomped to death by another. And finally found myself against the deacons. And I wish I lied, but this boss might have been the hardest boss of this entire challenge because of this. Come on. Strike me. Because they're able to be parried, I have to parry the one with the red glow. And as you saw, I did not want to attack. I don't know what I did wrong, but they only wanted to attack once a month. And this being a DPS race, I just died every time. I know I probably could have done this normally, but after 1 hour of not even getting remotely close, I changed the rules a little bit for this boss. To me having to parry just any of them and then strike the boss while the other one was staggered. And after a few attempts, the boss lay dead. And the king dropped a little baby doll he was so embarrassed over having, he protected it with his life. And it gave me access to Irithyll. While being chased by a slightly abnormal dog, I shit-talked the souls of the Boreal Knights because I violated them so hard earlier, and dodged a ghost's 4-hit wombo combo and caught it off guard with a badass anime parry and stabbed its non-existent heart out, and then died again, then decided to run past them instead of killing them, and made it to the first bonfire. Then headed out the invisible, crawling, shiny-eye, men-infested backyard, just barely made it past the dog in the backyard that they said was called Cupcake and didn't bite, and made it to Irithyll dungeon on my way to beat Yorm. After picking up the Sanctus Ashes, I finally got my perfect samurai outfit and my fashion soul set, and was ready to take on the infamous Yorm. And the first attempts I just ran around hopelessly ankle biting him to no prevail, and later found out I have to weirdly enough hit his hands to make him fall over and stab my katana right through his skull. And after a long while, the Lord of the Profane Flame lay dead. I then ran back to Irithyll and murdered some woman-looking horrific abominations, and threw where Sigurd would have sat if he didn't die earlier, and entered a church filled with black knights, killed them all and looted the Leo ring, which confused me for a long time, and continued out the most hated damn staircase in the game, with a combo of fast-ass dogs and magic-wielding ghost people that screw me up every time. And when I finally made it away, my ass was all red and sore of them kicking my ass so brutally, and once again stood against my biggest enemy, Pontiff Sullivan. Because as you probably know, he is parryable and pretty easy when you know how to parry, and after my last playthrough of parrying him, this was also the case. For the first phase, because normally you parry his first phase quite easily, then second phase you kill him normally, but oh no, I can't do that. I also have to parry his second phase where he fights alongside his clone, making the parry windows incredibly small. And with a few attacks that were actually parryable, combined with my katana parry that takes extra long to use, this was nearly impossible. And I tried everything, but that damn clone always survived and didn't go away, and was too close to Pontiff to normally hit. And after so many tries, I got one successful parry in the second phase. And turns out I need at least 2 to kill him. So after around 25 attempts, I literally just gave up and decided to beat the rest of the entire game before Pontiff to get the maximum damage output and improve my parry skills. With that said, I headed to the dancer and slew her in my third attempt, giving me access to the rest of Lothric Castle, and I knew a bunch of Titanite chunks for upgrading my katana was in there, and on my way I fought a knight that refused to die and just kept healing. But I continued through the crispy ass toxic floor, and for some reason found a spirit I think was here for the boss fight, but he just ran head first into a pus of man. Damn. Damn. I'm just gonna go then. Goodbye, Hogwood. Goodbye. And after getting my weapon to +8, I headed through the gardens and got trapped, then kicked in the face by a huge knight. Then he cornered me, kicked me again, and just barely made it to the old slimy bearded dragon with an invisible baby. And he looked at that invisible baby, alright. And right as I was heading to the boss, I got slapped right in the ass and died through the damn fog gate. But on my first real attempt, I got him stuck in his own arena and he just kept running at the wall and died of his own ignorance. With the King of Lothric dead, it was time for the ultimate showcase of my parry skills, the Untinted Graves. Wait, never mind, I guess I didn't do this. But I actually went to the ultimate showcase of my parry skills, the Archdragon Peak. But that was actually a lie. This place doesn't even have a single parryable boss. So there's that, and then there's these annoying ass fire breathing snake lizards, whom almost take the crown for most annoying enemy, just about tied with the jailers for the first place. And then there's this giant wyvern that's not really a boss. Like look, all it takes is a bit of running and one single plunge attack. I said one single plunge attack. I said one single plunge attack. And then the only other boss of this area, the rock lizards. I then got a Titanite slab beside Havel, and then for the actual only other boss of this area, the nameless Nope, I guess I'm going through Lothric Castle now. Like what's happening? What am I doing? Oh yeah, getting my weapon to +10, that's right. I then got 2 Titanite chunks and my weapon was looking better than ever. Then continued through Lothric Castle, rid a dragon of its foot infection, sadly killing it in the process. Went back to Undead Settlement and got Flint's Ring for increased damage against Pontiff, with my plan being doing so much damage in his first phase that I only need to parry him once in the second phase to kill him, making the fight possible. But that was still just a theory, and first I had to defeat Gundyr again in the Untinted Graves. Because killing him once wasn't enough, I even had to kill him in his own grave, just to get a ring that increases my riposte or critical damage. So I went back, skipped most of the dog-infested graves, almost died to the most basic hollows twice, and died after getting 3 parries in on Gundyr, and then did this. And with Gundyr dead, once again I continued to the Untinted Graves, where I played with all the Black Knights like they were some damn toys. Then I picked up the Hornet Ring, together with the Firekeeper's eyes that somehow still was intact, that I needed for the ending. With the new ring, I tested it on Pontiff, and after around 15 attempts, I concluded that I did so much damage, I was only able to parry him once before he summoned his transparent friend. But if I hit him while he was recovering from the parry, I did enough damage to only parry him once more, before finally stabbing him correctly to death after the countless times I have stabbed him right in his crotch. But that was for later, so first I went back to Archdragon Peak. And then there's this great soul farming guy, but out of nowhere Havel got spawned and I almost shit my pants again. And I completely ruined him. And the reason I farmed with this guy was because I needed 2 different resins for the Nameless King. Lightning for the dragon and Dark for the king himself. And then it was time for the Nameless King. Nope, not this time either. Instead I went back to Pontiff for the 3rd time, after just using 30k souls on lightning buffs and 1 embarrassing attempt. This finally happened. Yes, that can go. Oh, thank God. Even though this wasn't even a very good attempt, it was filled with errors and ended with a mistimed parry, I still got him, and this took even longer than my last video. Then it was time for Eldritch, but first I had to kill 2 silly people that did no damage. Go into a basement with very scary dogs that kinda look like my neighbors, and kill them very awkwardly one at a time, for the Ring of Favor. Run past some mad Sylvan Knights with an unlimited supply of arrows, stab one in the ass, use the only amusement in the whole game, the spinning tower, fought some more knights, pet a big spider cat, and then time for one of the easiest bosses in the game, the Devourer of Gods, Eldritch. And as usual, he went down pretty quick without any trouble, and he didn't even say a word, what a good lad. And then I got teleported to the boss I already killed, and went for the tall, scary, way too fast, horrific bunch of metal armor. And this boss can for some reason get parried, not his normal lousy one-handed attacks, no, but his 2-handed charge attack that is so strong it sends out a whole shockwave. Yeah, interesting choice, Miyazaki. But for some reason the armor was so easy that I had to play around and dodge him without attacking, because I wanted to get a parry in before killing him. And that parry was so badass, but I guess I technically could have killed him solely by parrying, but his 2-handed attacks is just too rare and the stun duration he gets is too short for any real damage. Next up was the worst damn area, the Grand Archives. And somehow the Crystal Sage slipped through my fingers and was back inside the archives, even stronger this time. And I just ran through the old library filled with wax-addicted librarians and ghost hands. Then got backstabbed by a gargoyle through the wall that exposed me to a knight, kicked the knight, got caught mid-roll and died. Separated a third-wheeling knight from his group and parried the poor guy. Then fought a bad samurai copy of me that always gets confused by his own bow and swords. And then a mage that somehow parried me with her damn hand? No idea how that makes any sense, but it was finally time for the twin princes. And this fight was actually the most fun of all of them, and I didn't even know you can do this, but you can parry almost all his attacks, which is so cool. And after mentally preparing, I went in without knowing either the timing or parryable attacks, so I got completely mauled by his greatsword and only got a single bad timed parry in. And this fight took a total of 30 attempts to beat. But unlike the Abyss Watchers or Pontiff, this didn't feel unfair or annoying in how hard or punishing the parries were. So while you look at this montage, I'll tell you about the fight. It was so much more than a get good fight, and everything felt good, and it actually felt like I was learning instead of losing. But I still had to parry him 6 times before getting to second phase, where I had to parry him even more, because he can keep respawning and the left side attack felt impossible to parry. And I still don't know if it was my timing or my placement, but other than that, he only has 3 unparryable attacks. The ground flames attack, the stand up attack and the magical earthquake. And of course all of Lothric's magic attacks. And there was also this weird parry glitch sometimes. But in his second phase I had to hit him from behind to also damage Lothric, and after a long 2 hours, this happened. Then it was finally time for the uncreative Name King, and his weakness is dark, so I needed Dark Resin, and the best way to get that is patches. And he was nowhere to be found, and I was kind of freaking out because I wanted that extra 100 damage, and Sigurd died earlier, which is like a huge impact on patches. But I remembered one way that might work. The useless tower that cost 20k souls, where if you played Dark Souls 3 before, You know that the backstabbing scumbag Patches locks you inside and threatens to steal everything from your dead body. Instead I just ran out and confronted him, bought the goods and rang a bell that somehow creates an invisible floor. And out of the sky came the nameless king. And on my first try I killed the dragon and got him damaged a little. And a few attempts later I got him. And for some reason I left my recording on for over an hour without doing anything. I don't know what that was. And then it was time to beat the cinder out of the soul and complete the game as Sekiro. And I still don't know why this one-hand sword wielding lad can be parried no matter what. So I just had to beat his ass and somehow did it first try. And before getting the ending, I tried the DLC for a couple hours, killed the grave tender and his rather large dog. But when it was time for Frida, yeah, you know how that went. Frida parry only, where I only do a little damage each parry. I spent a good part of 2 hours fighting her and not getting further than halfway into second phase, so I sadly just hurt my ego and gave up, because the Ringed City only has one parryable boss anyways. And Frida's dress is made of reinforced steel to somehow withstand 70 stabs through the inner organs. Maybe she's just a god, who knows. But it was finally time to end the challenge. And killing the firekeeper who was so nice to me all game just for a secret ending was pretty damn rude.
first flame quickly fades. Darkness will shortly settle. But one day, tiny flames will dance across the darkness. Like embers linked by Lord's Pass.
Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
With the end credits rolling, hours of practicing parrying, rage quitting and screaming at the game, I, ladies and gentlemen, completed the challenge. So if you managed to enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe and become a member to help out my channel. Also remember to join my Discord channel via the link in the description. But that answers the question, can you beat Dark Souls 3 as Sekiro?